could never make up my mind what kind of artist I wanted to be, so I thought, well, filmmaking's perfect. It's where all the arts kind of talk to each other. So my name is Dan Da Silva. I'm a set decorator and designer, and I've worked in the art department for several years now, and I was the production designer for Win. I've wanted to be a filmmaker since I was 15. We've always had a camera at home, and my mum took loads of photographs of me growing up, and I've always liked photography and writing, and so it just felt like a very natural kind of step. I didn't come from a design background. Like a lot of people in the art department, they'd studied illustration or graphic design or production design itself, but I came at it from a more techier, more kind of I studied filmmaking, and we didn't learn much art department, it must be said. It was mainly like cameras and sound and post-production. We learned to use studios, and so I just spent all my time learning about different directors and their styles and how they worked, and then slowly that grew into learning about different cinematographers or different video editors. I always took great inspiration from video editors, and the people who work directly with the story of a film always really interested me. And I guess what interests me isn't necessarily a specific element, but how they come together, and having all this kind of madness that goes on with so many different people and different artistries that go into it. So I could never make up my mind what kind of artist I wanted to be, so I thought, well, filmmaking's perfect. It's where all the arts kind of talk to each other. Things that bring us together in my mind are the love for the story, right, and the love for what we do, and I always get a lot of pleasure out of working with people who give it their all and more, and like have that attention to the whatever details it is. If it's getting excited about some sound effect, or is it getting excited over like a cool lighting scheme or a cool color scheme, or whatever the thing is, the detail is, seeing that passion in people's eyes kind of really motivates me. Short films definitely take a lot out of you in terms of resources and energy, and there's never enough resources or people or time or anything. And yet the ambition's always so high, because we want to give it our all, right? This is our chance. But I love short films because, well, for many reasons. One is the amount of creative control you get. I always found that you can work on big things, and the bigger the thing, the more of a cog in the machine you kind of feel, unless you're like really higher up. And even higher up, you don't have even that much control, because there's so much bigger interests. And at least with a short film, it feels like we're here for the film, not for some other bigger thing, some big studio's kind of marketing scheme. It's about the film, and it's about the filmmaking, and I love that, because it's where we get an opportunity to really kind of hone in on our craft and really give it our all, and throw our passion fully out there. And so that's what I really love about short films, is that you get to really have a say, and you get to really like build something together. And even though despite the challenges kind of make it more worthwhile, because you're in it together, and so you're all feeling the same pressures and figuring out those challenges, like at that level, really, I think refines our process and refines our skills. It's a kind of little experiment, in a sense of like, can you deliver a story? If you can do it, in 10 minutes, then you can expand on that, really. And it can be harder to tell a story in less words and less frames than it is when you have 2 hours to work on it, and when you have several episodes, like it's it definitely helps you focus and refine your skills and your imagination. like I was recommended Win, and then when I heard the story and I read the story, I related to it so personally because, it's about grief and loss, but it's also about returning home and returning to our family and as adults and with kind of grown eyes, and that's something that, you know, being a young adult myself, I can really relate to. And also, I also grew up in an estate, so I also really related to the physical space of our character, and yeah, having an opportunity to explore that on screen was really rewarding. And so I was drawn to the story a lot and to creating this, really introspective story as well. It is a beautiful kind of social realist story in a way, and I feel like that's one of the best of British cinema. Really, is in that genre, and a lot of my favourite British films are set in council estates. So I love the opportunity to explore that kind of physical space as well, and how you can tell a story through that. Well, the design process for me is always it's always kind of a mysterious process almost, where you'll work hard on the script, and you always start with a script and the story, and I always just enjoy rereading a script many times. It's something I've always enjoyed, is reading, and so I love to just sit with it and just be in that story. And before I've even broken it down or started dealing with the logistics, I just like to sit with that story and live in that world and see it through the character's eyes a little bit. Having creative conversations and figuring out kind of where everyone's visions are aligned. And I always find that it's a kind of multi-step thing. I'll start with sketches and concepts, and then a lot of research informs a lot of what I do. You have to be almost like a specialist in so many things and a master of none in a way. I find the next few steps is when we visit a location, and once we get the physical, the props for me really inspire me a lot, because that's when it starts getting real. And being a designer, you get to experience that world before the actors even walk into it. I always find the best results are when those things merge and we're responding to each other, and that's also a big part of the process, I think.